Shalom. This is Shalomar from the Great Millstone Atlanta Church. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. And peace and safety to the brothers pushing this truth, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the elect. So I'm going to get into an article. It says the coming collapse of the U.S. economy system. Blame the U.S. dollar. So this whole article goes into the collapse of the U.S. dollar. But towards the end of the article, it sounds just like 2nd Esdras 15. So I'm going to get into the scriptures, and I'm going to read the end of the article. So basically, throughout this whole article, it talks about the ways that the U.S. dollar is going to collapse. Some of this stuff is actually already in place now. The ways that it's going to be, that it's going to fall down. So it says right here that, the national debt is it's actually past $22 trillion, and there's no coming back from that. There's no way that the U.S. can pay $22 trillion. The only way that the U.S. will be able to pay $22 trillion is if they take the super rich that are here and probably tax everybody a certain percentage, where they would still be super rich. But the greed of the rich and wealthy, they're not gonna allow the government to tax a large proportion of that money, where it really wouldn't hurt their lifestyle, but it would take a big chunk of money, and it'll actually boost the government up to where they could eliminate this 22 trillion, or they could put a huge dent in it, because you have many millionaires here. You have hundreds of millionaires. You have billionaires. So if they take a certain percentage of their money, they can actually eliminate a lot of this debt. But they're not going to do that. They actually recently, a couple of years ago, I want to say back in 2017, 2018, Trump signed a new tax cut for the rich, and it crippled the United States even more. So while they're trying to save money and make money, it's actually they're basically tearing down the dollar, and tearing down the government. So I'm going to get to the end of this article. It says, due to bank freezes, employers will be unable to make bank transactions to pay their employees. With employers unable to access frozen bank accounts, people won't be paid, bills won't get paid, etc. Consequently, the most businesses will be forced to either go out of business, significantly reduce their workforce, unemployment will become rampant. With millions out of a job, the number of unemployment claims will skyrocket, bankrupting unemployment insurance programs in the major countries. So once once this dollar collapse, or once the banks all freeze up, you know, you it's gonna affect the businesses first. And Esau, the so-called white man, according to the scriptures, he's not gonna go into his personal money, to keep his business afloat. He'll rather file bankruptcy and try and start another business. And the good old President Trump knows about that because he's done it over and over again. But based off what's being read here, this dollar is gonna collapse real soon, and jobs are gonna it's gonna really attack people's jobs first. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple of precepts, and I'm gonna start with this Ecclesiastes 12, and it says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and a strong man shall bow themselves, the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. He shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." So, going back to this article, and it says, when people realize that the value of their hard-earned wealth is about to evaporate, they will take drastic measures to prevent it. Those who own stores and businesses will increase their prices for goods and services drastically to survive the crisis. Panic hoarding of food, medical supplies, gasoline, heating oil, and other commodities will erupt. Runaway inflation, gas lines, rationing will begin. So it's going to be a limited supply of what they will actually sell you. So people are going to try and hoard foods and gas, but they are only going to be allowed a certain amount, which is not going to be much. Then it says, widespread violence will explode across America that could range from inner city riots or gang wars. The breakdown of law and order will be the ultimate effort the ultimate effect of rioting and looting, as they lose their sense of right and wrong, and are increasingly empowered in their sense of anger, panic, and greed. Major social upheavals, major social upheavals will occur in America, and the fear of unknown will set in amongst the populace. So, going back to the scriptures, I'm gonna go to Second Esdras 6 verse 6 and 22. It says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown; the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid." So this is going to be right before the major destruction occurs, which is the the economic collapse or the dollar collapse. And it says, "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. So this is pretty much going to be the end of the world. So the salvation is going to occur right after this violence erupts, because after that, that's when the nuclear missiles are going to hit. So you want to make sure that you're out of here way before that. And the only way we can get out of here is to seek the salvation from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But I'm going to go back, Shlaki. I'm going to go back to the article real quick. It says the U.S. will be hardest hit because it has the largest economy, an enormous national debt, an economic base on credit, and population greatly divided by race, ethnicity, origin, gender, color, religious belief, cultural differences, and financial status. And that's exactly correct. This place is divided by all these things. So you're gonna have people grouped together based on their status. You're gonna have black, white. You're gonna have Democrat and Republicans. You're gonna have Christians and Muslims. You're gonna have rich and poor. So you're gonna have these different groups that they're gonna actually be fighting against each other. I'm gonna go back to a couple of precepts and go back to Second Ezra. This is pretty much the main point here. Second Ezra 15, and I'm gonna start at 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." Just like what I was reading, right before the major destruction come, the nuclear missiles, because the only way to get rid of this place is with the nukes, and with the trade wars going on, and these other countries just gonna tear this place apart with the missiles. Not only that, it's gonna be martial law. You're gonna have martial law. You're gonna have concentration camps. All these things are gonna be going on, but the outcome is gonna be the nuclear destruction. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Just what I was just reading in the article, it goes right along with the Second Ezra 15. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." That's going to be the martial law, because you're not going to just be able to just go out into a, leave your city, because it's going to be all type of troops, foreign troops in the streets. And it says, "For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation." So this is coming. This is actually right around the corner. This is right around the corner, and looks like I don't know if it was a Hamite or a Jake that wrote this article. Looked like it could be a Jake, but he this is where his mind his mind was actually set on to write something like this based on what he sees, and you know based on the way that this place is going down, and Esau knows it's going down. Esau just trying to keep his pride up. He's trying to make it seem like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, but it's gonna be over real soon, and it's gonna sneak up on him. But I'm gonna go ahead and that was pretty much the main topic. This place is gonna the economy collapses right around the corner. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened like in the matter of months. As a matter of fact, I think in September, which is July now, but coming September, you're gonna have they're gonna have to raise the national debt again. But the way that I think her name is Pelosi and Trump, she's like the speaker, and she's gonna she already kind of like have her mindset that she's not gonna give any money towards the border wall. So then you're gonna have another government shutdown like earlier this year and late last year. But I believe that's gonna be following that's gonna come with a recession, and hopefully, Lord's willing, the dollar's gonna collapse, so all of this stuff can get going and get kicked off. And my brothers and sisters, that are the hopeful elect, hopefully we can seek that salvation and get out of this place. So I hope this lesson was edifying. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Once again, giving double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth, and peace and safety to the elect. Shalom.